Aren't you tired of people playing in your face? Aren't you tired of being the suppressed version of yourself? You're standing in place while you're watching everybody else get to attend the race. And here you are, going to God, asking about the same things over and over and over and over, as if you have not already been set free. You're one decision away from tomorrow being different, from you being a version that you've never seen, but always dreamt of being. Aren't you tired questioning yourself when God's giving you power, love, and a sound mind, not confusion and chaos and insecurity? You're far more precious than a ruby. You're a valuable thing. So stop settling for less than what God intended for you. Suppression was never supposed to be a love language. I discovered something about myself. I kept questioning whether it was the places I was in or the people I was around that made me suppress myself, what the real issue was. And as I reflected deeper, it wasn't that the people or the places or the spaces that I was in had an impact on how I showed up. It was the fact that I wasn't comfortable with me. The more that I started to become comfortable with myself, it did not matter who I was around. It didn't matter what they thought about me. It didn't matter what could possibly be going through their head. I knew who I was. And I was okay with her. Actually, more than okay. But as I've been journeying, traveling places, visiting people, you will know that it's time to move forward to a different place. The moment you begin to get extremely uncomfortable, things don't feel right, they don't seem right, your awareness is starting to heighten. God's like, okay, it's time. It's time to move forward. And now everything that you have experienced in that place, you need to apply so that when you get to the next place, you will not go through the same cycle that you just got out of. Sometimes because of everything that we had to experience, battle fatigue, on top of so many different things from that past place, we lose sight of the move being a blessing. We lose sight of the door being closed being a blessing. We lose sight of the things that we're having to let go of are a blessing, and it plays a major part in where we're going. It plays a major part in our answered prayers. We lose sight of that because we're tired, we're agitated, we don't know why this happened and why that took place and this, that, and the third. And because we're so stuck on that, we can't even see how blessed we are. We're losing sight of what we need to apply to not get back into that same place that we just fought so hard to get out of. Because yes, things were great there. You have people that you miss and places you still want to visit and people that you wish you can still see on a day-to-day basis because it was a part of your everyday. But now that you're in transition and you're going to a new place, it's like, did I make the right decision? Was I supposed to stay there longer? Because you're reminiscing and you're still attached to yesterday, not knowing tomorrow looks so much better. And that's not a slight to anybody that you were connected to. It's just to say it's time for you to transition. It's time for you to move forward. But because you're so caught in your feelings about what you lost and about where you are, and you're questioning if this was correct because of your circumstances, and it seems as if you went backwards, your feelings, your perception is causing you to lose sight of your blessings and your answered prayers, because you're standing in them despite what it is that you see. You're standing in them despite how you feel. Despite what you still are asking God why about. You are blessed. You are in an answered prayer currently. And if you just continue to shift your perspective and see that you're already healed, you've already made it through that thing, your finances have already turned around. If you shift your perspective to see, you'll be happy at where you are and excited about where you're headed, because it's an answer. Suppression is not a love language. And I'll talk about myself, and if you relate, then I'm thankful, because I know that means revelation has came for you. I was suppressing myself to appease everybody else around me because I was tired of standing out, being wrong, or being told I was wrong at least. And I was so used to suppressing myself, so used to appeasing people, people pleasing, That when people came along to tell me I was great, I didn't believe them. When I had the right support system around me and all the tools and resources to pour into what God was calling me towards, I didn't believe it. I didn't utilize it fully. In the moment that I started to go after it, something in me told me I wouldn't make it. I wasn't good enough. I had to try harder. And then the moments where I did start to bask in it fully, and I was excited, and I didn't care about what anybody else thought, and I was even denying my flesh and myself and my inner child. And I said, no, I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to commit. And I was stepping out on faith and doing performances and different things. The people around me didn't know that those weren't the moments that I needed constructive criticism. The first thing out of people's mouths shouldn't have been what I could have done better. It should have been, I'm proud of you. But I didn't really share much of what I was going through internally. I put on a good face, and I was strong, courageous, bold, relentless in my pursuit, inspirational and impactful to a lot of people, but they didn't see the girl who was scared, the girl who was unsure, the girl who was constantly questioning herself, beating herself up, and holding herself to such a high expectation that she burnt out very quick. And she was tired. Quite frankly, tired of her own bullshit. I did not know how to communicate. In the moments where I did communicate efficiently, I didn't know how to stand on it. I would go right back to people pleasing and overcompensating. Because I hated to be wrong. That's what comes with being a black sheep. You hate being wrong. Crazy thing about being a black sheep is because you're so used to getting the most attention when you're in trouble or doing something incorrectly, you subconsciously place yourself in those positions because that's the most emotion you get out of the people that you're around, because most of the time you place yourself around or attach yourself to people who are unavailable emotionally. So it takes them being triggered by something crazy to become emotionally available for you. It's unhealthy. And it also has a lot to do with you, because you're emotionally unavailable too. And you think you're being vulnerable. But the parts of you that need to be revealed, the parts of you that you need to let people into, you hide and say you're okay, and you put on a tough face when really you need to let somebody in. It's okay not to have it all the time. Problem is, can't speak for you, only can speak for me. My problem was, don't claim it currently. I've healed. I've changed. I've been restored and set free. I was so used to being hurt that I knew if I let people in that deep, I don't know how long it would have taken me to get out that hole. Because it took me a while to get out the hole I was in when I let them in as deep as I did. So I was scared to let people in on that side of me. But I've learned there's nothing you can't come back from. Reflecting on last year, most of my experiences were supposed to take me out. Most of them were supposed to break me. Most of them were supposed to continue to keep me suppressed and down and outside of my purpose. And they did for a while. And they did shake me to my core, and they did break me to where I felt like I couldn't even get up. Off the floor, off the couch, out the bed. I felt hopeless and helpless. But I cried out. And I got restored, slowly but surely. The surely is the only thing that matters, and the slow part is important because it taught me how to accept things, how to address things, how to analyze myself as well as others, and not villainize me or them. So it was a blessing. Now, I'm saying all this to say you're not too far gone. You're not too broken. And everything that you experience down to this transition that you're in, and you have to move and you have to leave and you have to let things go. Ideas especially. It's going to be the best thing that you have ever allowed to happen for you. Because you have to allow it. And I can say this because I was fighting letting go for so long. I was fighting transition for so long. I was questioning things because I had an idea in my mind that attached itself to my heart, and I was acting out in my actions, and God said, this is killing you. Give it to me. So I know it's heavy. I know you're tired. I know you still don't even have clarity fully, and that's what you want more than anything, because you feel like the moment you get that, you can just move forward. But there are some things that you do not need to know currently. God knows your heart. He knows your struggles. He knows what you're thinking. It will all make sense in the end at the moment that it's supposed to. So don't let it have so much of you. I can't tell you to not let it have you at all. It's unrealistic. And God knows that too. He's not asking you to be perfect. He's just asking you to be willing to let it go, willing to analyze it, willing to hold yourself accountable, willing. Not perfect, not completely set free and healed in one day. No. Many things have to break. Many things have to shake. Many things have to be let go of. Many things have to be addressed. Many things. That just made me think about the story in the Bible, the woman at the well. And Jesus asked her to get him some water. She was like, what you asking me to get you some water for? Like, hold on. My people don't even like, your people don't even like my people. This is a law that we're not even supposed to really be in the same atmosphere. Like, what do you mean? Get you some water. But she gave him some water. And they got to talking. And he basically told her in a nutshell, like, you have many husbands. It wasn't that she had many rings, that she was married, that she was divorced. No, she had many people attached to her. So Jesus was like, you got many husbands. You done laid down with many people. You done gave your heart to many people. You done attached yourself energetically, mentally, spiritually with many people. You have many husbands. You have many things you need to let go of. You have many transitions to go through. You have many things you need to divorce mentally. You have many things you need to divorce in your heart. You have many things you need to give to me. Suppression is a recipe for bitterness. And most of the time, the relationships that we be in, we ignore the red flags because of the ideology that we have fell in love with in our mind. We wrapped our life around this person. We wrapped our life around this place. We wrapped our life around these things. So the moment where it starts to be revealed that might not be the outcome, we feel defeated, we feel down, we get depressed, we get angry, we get anxious, because we shaped our entire being around this thing. We ignored the red flags because it was appeasing us, it was fulfilling us in some way. It became our sourcing ways, and we denied ourselves peace. We denied ourselves freedom. We denied ourselves joy. We denied ourselves clarity because of this idea. The moment that you begin to deny yourself is the moment you begin to suppress yourself. You become the version that's accepted. You become the version that you think you're supposed to be, but you're not operating authentically to you. And quite frankly, you haven't been that in a while, because the world is constantly telling you that that is not okay, all the way from when you were a child. And you're just trying to find your way. I was having a conversation with someone, and we got to talking about identity, characters. And I was like, many times we take on characters to survive. So the version of you that you are operating as is not even the version of you that God called you to be. That's why God keep knocking at your door. That's why God keep pulling on your heart. That's why God keeps dropping things in your atmosphere and in your spirit so that you can step out and you can align with that version, because how you are operating currently is not your best version. It's just the version that you think you have to be. It's just the version that's keeping you surviving. It's just the version that you became to appease everybody around you because you were so tired of feeling like something was wrong with you. Let me give you a warning. If you've been suppressing yourself most of your life, or you got into a situation to which you began to suppress yourself, once you start putting in the work, the physical work, as will combine with the spiritual work in the emotional practice, you're going to start climbing out of that hole. You're going to start taking yourself out to eat. You're going to start going to walks in the park. You're going to start dressing differently. You're going to start to align with being expressive in multiple ways, not suppressing yourself for anybody or anything. And the moment that you begin to do that is the moment that suppression is going to try to come back to get you to re-enter into this cycle. This can happen through people. This can happen through triggers. Maybe you go visit your family. Many things will start to flare up to say, come back to suppress yourself. You're too loud. You're doing too much. Who do you think you are? Oh, you too good now? Many things will start to reveal itself to get you to come back to suppression, and they won't all be blatant. So you need to use your discernment and be as wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove. Keep being you. Keep being patient. Keep being kind. Keep being loving. But with discernment. Guard your heart. The only way that you can guard your heart and know what to guard your heart from is by paying attention to what you are around and how you operate. It feels good. So hold on to that. And that does not mean hold on to it so much to where you deny relationships being sent your way. Not just romantic, platonic, business-wise. Collaboration is important and it is key, especially when it pertains to romance and marriage. But anybody that is with you, they're not going to suppress you. They're going to enhance your expression as you enhance theirs. Discernment, accountability, awareness. This don't mean somebody gonna come along and support you being loose, emotionally unbalanced and immature, to the point where you're so naive and oblivious to your actions to where you can put them in danger. But you can hold them accountable for everything that they do to put you in danger. No, you have to also see yourself. I'm not saying that. I'm saying someone's going to come along and pour into your purpose. They're not going to fight who you are. They're not going to be confused by who you are. They're going to pour into you to help you become a better version of you as who you are, because they recognize your gifts, your calling, and your purpose they've been assigned to you. So accountability and awareness is going to be extremely important for you not to go back to what you just fought to get out of. And it feels good to be free. It feels good to paint again. It feels good to care about what you're putting on your body. It feels good to feel confident covering up your body completely and not having to show anything. And you walk out with your head high because there was a time in your life where you felt like your body was your value. That's what you were taught. It feels good to write. It feels good to create. It feels good to express yourself and be around people who can relate to you and not look at you as if something's wrong. It feels good to go outside and speak to people and look them straight in the eye and not hurry up or try to be unseen or sit in the darkest corner so that nobody can notice you. You can tell the difference from somebody who is assigned to you and somebody who is not. Because one comes and disrupts your whole entire space, your peace, your clarity, your sanity, your everything. And let me also put this pin right here. Okay? Because sometimes we can misinterpret someone coming in and pushing us to correction because God corrects those that he loves, like a father, because he is a father. So your husband, your platonic relationships, your homegirls, whoever it is, they will come into your life and push you towards correction. Your siblings, people who love you truly, they are going to push you towards correction so that you can increase in your life. And if you are in a place to where you are operating in offense, to where you are operating in shame, to where you are operating in something that is low vibrational and is going to cause you to sabotage yourself, you will completely misinterpret loving correction. Completely. And it may take you losing some things for you to see, dang, that person really had my best interest at heart. And if I would have taken heed and paid attention, I would have got this a lot earlier, and then I could have set boundaries and standards here and turned back and tested them correctly, because they're not perfect neither. But we were supposed to be iron sharpening iron, not iron. And then I'm not iron, so I'm not even sharpening them back. So the iron got dull. And then sometimes the iron can get dull, and this goes on both sides to the point where they step out and they don't even see that they're iron anymore. So they're accepting dust. A nice polish over the iron that needs to be sharpened. The iron can't even work correctly. It just look good, just look polished up. But it's not even operating correctly. This is why it's important for you to get in alignment with accountability and self-awareness so that you can work on emotional maturity. And you can let go and accept that transition, because when you start to get aligned with the people that are for you to create change in your life, you need to be showing up for them as well. It's not just a one-sided thing to where they're just there for you. You are also there to deposit something in them. Doesn't mean it's going to be in the same way, and it might be in a way that you are completely unaware of. It's the fact that you can be going through something so crazy, so heartbreaking, so shattering, and you still keep power, love, and a sound mind and can wish people well in your day, and they're learning something from you. You don't even see it. Work on yourself. And don't be so quick to attach yourself to external things. Because the last thing that you want to be is a woman of folly who tears down her own household because she lacks emotional intelligence and she's not self-aware. So she's just saying whatever comes to her mind out her mouth, cursing everything around her, including herself, including the very thing she's praying for. The moment she's triggered, all hell is breaking loose. She don't even care if the kid's around. She don't care who she called, what she say. Now she has to correct things the next day because she done told everybody she could call about how this person, this, that, and the third. And she completely misinterpreted the situation and did not hold herself accountable for the part she played. Even if it was as simple as, you are in agreement with this and this is what you said was okay. And if you continue to say it's okay, you cannot be mad at it abiding by the agreement. Cancel that contract if it does not align with you. Maybe you got into it too young, where you were naive and you weren't thinking straight and you didn't learn that. And now you're starting to see the red flags and the effects of it. And you need to go ahead and cancel that contract and say, hey, listen, I've been setting boundaries and standards, and every time I do, you fight with me because you're not used to this version of me. So let me separate myself and move accordingly before this damages me any further. And if we are supposed to be iron sharpening iron, at some point in this relationship, I was not iron for you and you got dull because I couldn't see myself. As this separation happens, I will go through a process of healing to which I can hold myself accountable. And you will go through a process of healing to which forgiveness can take place. And you can also hold yourself accountable for the agreement that we made, because we both lost sight. And if we do not come back together, at least we learned. We were blessed through the lesson that we learned, and we can apply it to our next thing. And it's all love. But sometimes it requires space. But the problem is we don't let space be space. We already in the next thing. Bringing the last thing, the past thing, into the next thing. And sometimes we don't even move on to a new thing. We just go back to what we used to. We're not doing it right. Space and separation means space and separation. Healing does not mean attach yourself to somebody else's trauma and to bond with it, because all you're doing is swapping demons back and forth. All you're doing is swapping toxicity back and forth. I'm going to make another episode about vetting, but we really need to get to the nitty gritty of what vetting truly is, because we sometimes don't even pay attention to the people that are connected to the person we're saying we want to spend time with. Do you listen to the conversations that his homeboys be having? Do you listen to the way that his mother speaks about him, about her, about the other children, about how she operates in life and how she think? Do you listen? Because all of that plays a part in the man that he is, and vice versa when it pertains to the woman. Do you listen to her mother? Do you know her mother's story? Do you see how they operate together? Do you hear the conversation she's having with her friends? Do you pay attention to how she thinks based upon what she is taking in from social media and things? Do you pay attention? It goes all the way down to what type of TV shows you like to watch. What are you attracted to? The vetting process is very detailed and for a reason. I'm not saying to completely condemn these people based upon who they attach to. Everybody can change. Everybody can grow. But that does play a part in who they are currently. The problem is we're seeing from projected potential. And because we're seeing from projected potential, we're not even paying attention to the person they are currently. We just falling in love with what they could be. Emphasis on could. They haven't lived up to that yet. That's just what you have foresight. You have a gift. You are perceiving things from a divine space. It absolutely can be that, and declare and decree that it will be. But that does not mean lose sight of how they are operating currently, because that is what is going to keep them there or catapult them there. So that's what you need to pay attention to, so that you can say, no, this do not line up. And I see what you can be. And I pay attention to what you say you want to be and what it is that you want to accomplish. And if you keep operating like this in this area, that's going to delay you from getting there, because it's not denied. It's delayed. God said yes and amen to that. I'm not seeing this version of you for no reason. You're not praying and wishing to be this version of you for no reason. It's not denied. It's a yes and amen. It's a guarantee. But you have to be willing to change. Not just thinking about it and talking about it and acting it out for a week. And I'm supporting it. And then we going right back to the same cycle. No, iron actually has to sharpen iron. And the only way that we can truly sharpen each other and true change can happen, so that projected potential can actually be reality, is by checking who we are currently. I literally just said that would be another episode, but whatever. I'm just going to let God flow, because it's necessary and it's needed. And we need to talk about these things and have these conversations, because, girl, one thing about it, or sir, one thing about it is I've learned so much from applying the lessons and not just applying the emotions. I was so used to applying the emotions from the lessons and not the wisdom from it, that I had to keep going through the same cycles over and over and over and over again. And because I had to go through those cycles so many times, I started getting mad at God, because I'm like, yo, why am I always here? Why do I always end up back in this space? Why am I praying and I'm fasting and I'm believing and I'm being a kind person and this, that, and the third, and I am still struggling in this area? Why? I started getting mad at God. And God had to throw the towel back in my face and say, how are you getting mad at me when I have shown you time and time again? I gave you multiple confirmations for you to walk away, for you to lean back into me, because you started to idolize the resources I sent you as if there wasn't a re before the source. How dare you get mad at me? God had to check me, because I'm getting mad at him, and it's my actions that keep me in this place. Yeah, you prayed and you fasted and I blessed you and other things happened in your life. When have you ever just prayed one prayer? You don't remember all the stuff you be praying? Lord, I want this car. Lord, bless me with this. Lord, Lord, heal me. Lord, you know how God says you're not supposed to be double-minded? Like, somebody who's double-minded, they literally are like the winds and the waves and the seas. Like, they move with everything that's moving. They switch up with everything. Like, the sky could turn a different color and it's like, oh, you know what? I don't even really want that no more. I really want something else. The trend can change on the internet. It's like, you know what? I don't even really want to continue this business. I'm going to go over there. Like, That's what being double-minded is. You are moved based upon external things. Anytime something circumstantially changes, you change your mind. Guys, like, do you not remember the prayers that you prayed? Do you not remember all the stuff that you have asked me for? And you changed like the winds and the waves in the sea, baby. You prayed to me about many things, and I'm saying yes and amen to them. I'm saying yes and amen to these prayers. So yeah, you're praying and you're fasting, you're doing things and things are coming to pass, but you're so stuck and bound in this one area that's not changing, and you're not seeing that what you are doing for these other answers to come to pass, it will not be the same thing that you have to do for that. You can't have lazy faith over there. You can't just pray a couple times over there. That's a whole principality. You've been operating like that for a while, to the point where you got unforgiveness in your heart about it. You've been praying for that thing for a while, to the point where you got resentment in your heart about it. Not even seeing that it's your own actions that's keeping you in that place. And if you don't do something to change, you're going to have to keep forgiving it over and over and over and over again. You need to identify your triggers in that, so that you already can see before it comes how the enemy going to try to trip you up, and not just the red-faced devil or one being. I'm talking about your sister might say something to make you want to slap her in her mouth. And you not even that type of person no more. You actually communicate. And that's why it's pissing you off so much, because you over communicate and people still playing in your face. You need to know your triggers. Because if you keep losing sight of these triggers, you're going to keep blowing up. And now you got to come back and repent and apologize and be crying because you stepped outside of your character. And you fell right into the trap, right into the play. And what did that do? It brought more resentment and unforgiveness to your heart, because you're tired of people playing in your face. Identify the trigger. Identify the play. Get out your feelings. Identify why it makes you feel some type of way in the first place. Write that down and bring that to me. Because it stems way past this situation. It goes all the way back to childhood, when you felt unseen and unheard and everybody counted you out. And when you started counting yourself in, then everybody wanted to tell you about how you acting different. Because I'm not suppressing myself no more. Because I believe in myself now. Because I'm not everybody's do girl. Now I'm different. Because I got boundaries and standards. Because I'm believing for something. I'm not afraid to stand on my foundation in God. I don't care what nobody got to say. Now I'm different. Pay attention to your triggers and where they came from. This is not to say that you're going to be perfect. You might have a couple "I'm going to slap you in your mouth, you keep playing with me" moments. Apologize for it. Ask for their forgiveness. Because that's not you. That's not how you want to operate. And whatever's operating in them because of whatever is they're being triggered by when it pertains to you, it's trying to bring you to the same space they in. That's not your portion. That's not where you are. And you had to climb yourself up out that hole. And they will do the same as well. This pertains to many relationships and many things. But the problem is, you're only fixated and focused on that one situation that was recent and hurt you the most. You're only fixated on the last situation that happened. You're only fixated on the situation you don't have clarity about yet. You're only fixated on that, instead of saying, yo, this is not the start of this. This started somewhere else. This is just a trigger. This is just another situation because I didn't identify the trigger. This is just something else that's weighing heavy on my mind and my heart and my spirit because I didn't identify the trigger. Because I'm losing sight of what I prayed for. Because I'm losing sight of what I am believing for currently. You've been fighting for a minute now. And you keep hearing words. You keep hearing confirmation, prophecies. That it's time. Your promised land is near. Double portion. God's not done blessing you. You keep hearing it, but you're afraid to, you're irritated by even accepting the prophecy because when is it going to happen? And is it even going to happen? And I have battle fatigue. I'm tired. But you're only tired because you haven't identified the triggers and you're losing sight of God's promises to you. You're losing sight of the prayers you pray because of these feelings and these situations that are weighing heavy on your mind. I had to tell myself today, I'm not bothered by that. Why you keep wanting to be so bothered by that? I'm healed. I'm victorious. I'm set free. Why do I keep looking at that? Going past letters I done wrote, different things out to release. And I'm like, oh, you're not bothered. You're only bothered the moment that you're only bothered the moment you reminisce on it. You're only bothered the moment that you revisit it in a negative way, not in a beneficial way towards you. You're only bothered by it when you reminisce on the feelings. You are healed. That situation that's weighing heavy on your mind and your heart, it's not even as big as you're making it. It's very small. You're already healed. You're already victorious. You're already vindicated. You've already applied the blessing from that lesson. You already have. But because you keep reminiscing on the feelings, on the offense, on the heartbreak, on the situation, on the words they said, oh my gosh, that'd be the worst part when you remember what somebody said bar for bar, word for word. And it keeps replaying in your mind. And then you have to go back and say, did he really say that? Did they really try me? Like, what did they even mean by that? And then you have to reflect on it and say, there was nothing wrong with them saying that. That's how they felt. Now, if I continue to internalize it and make it have to do something with me, I'm going to keep feeling the way. It had nothing to do with me and everything with how they felt. It don't take nothing from me. But if I keep giving it pieces of me, I'm going to keep feeling like I'm being robbed of something. I'm not being robbed. I'm being blessed. My awareness has heightened. My standards have changed. My boundaries are set in stone. No compromising to appease nothing. You get with it or you get to somebody else. Okay? I'm not going to waste no time here. Respectfully and humbly. God bless you. I know who I am. And I remember who I used to be. And I vowed that I would not be returning back to that space. That's not my portion. That's not what God has for me. That's what the world told me was mine. And I accepted it because I could not see. So I apologize. You had to experience a lesser version of me. And I also apologize that you may not get the opportunity to experience this version. It is what it is. I wish you well. Your posture will start to change. Your mind state will start to change. Your heart will start to change. Your language will start to change the moment you start to say, I'm already healed. I'm already victorious. And not just speak it out your mouth, but actually accept it and believe it. Because when you speak a word, you believe the word, so shall it be. This is divine law. That's what it is. And it's not just speaking the words out your mouth. It's not even just believing the words out your mouth. It's acting it out. The moment you want to go look at the page, the moment you want to go revisit old journal entries, stop yourself. Why are you looking at it anyways? What is it going to do for you? Have you accepted victory over that or not? Have you let that go or not? Have you given it back to God or not? Are you being double-minded because of feelings or a push to go look into something that has nothing to do with you? None of your business. If it is your business, it'll come up. Okay, because one thing about it, when God wants to get you something, it's going to smack you in your face, literally. That's what it's going to feel like, because I didn't ask to see this. I didn't ask for this phone call to pop up on my phone. They don't even know they called me. Now I'm hearing all this stuff. I didn't ask for this. It'll literally smack you in your face. When it's time for it to be revealed, it will be revealed. It will all make sense, and it won't leave no offense in your heart because you did the work and you were obedient to honoring your spirit and guarding your heart. So don't go out of your way to break it. Don't go out of your way to suppress yourself. Don't go out of your way to backtrack. Do not go out of your way to diminish your progress. You have made it far. Some people still on the couch. Some people still on the floor. Some people still in depression. You have made it. Turn around and inspire somebody else by doing something different. Move forward. Honor God. Pray about it. Wait for confirmation and clarity. Don't want so much confirmation and clarity to the point where you are agreeing with fear and aligning with stagnancy, because you really just don't want to get your feelings hurt. And this seems like a big leap of faith. And you just came out of something that really hurt you. So you were afraid to even say, okay, God, yep, I'll do it. So you're tiptoeing on it and you keep asking for clarity and confirmation. He done told you, you know what it is. There's nothing that you can't make it through. The last couple heartbreaks, the last couple no's, the last couple fails, which were really training courses, the last couple situations you thought were going to break you and take you out. You still here. You still standing. Victorious, because that's God's guarantee. Exodus 14:14. The only thing that you need to do is be still, because God has already guaranteed you victory. He's fighting on your behalf. You can't not win. I don't even know why people keep playing around and acting as if it's a possibility that you can lose. They're not in their right mind. And if you keep agreeing with them, you're not in your right mind neither. So I need you to get into your right mind, because God is giving you power, love, and a sound mind. A sound mind is not questioning itself. A sound mind is not fighting itself. A sound mind is not going to war against its source to stay bound in a dark place, in a desolate place. That's not a sound mind. So you need to get out of agreement with them other people who done lost their mind and come up higher, because you have victory. Jesus. I'll be like, hold on, because the whole point of this was suppression. And then I was supposed to start as suppression. And then I had a whole script. And then keep me on track. I am on track. Honor your spirit. God is not leading you in the wrong direction. The Holy Spirit, if you allow him to be your helper, your friend, your guide, I'm telling you, he'll take you in the right place. So stop questioning everything to be like, oh my gosh, am I? You are. You could never be in the wrong place. Okay? If you're there, it's for a reason. And sometimes it's so that you can learn, because you've been there many times before, but you can't see it. So you're there for a reason, so that you can see, I'm not returning to this place. And if I ever get sent back here again, if I ever return back to this place, it will not be in the same position. It won't be with the same title. It won't be in the same tax bracket. It won't be the same. You will not recognize me, to the point where when you do see and realize who I used to be, and you're trying to pinpoint how I got here and how I have this and what changed, it's going to blow your mind and inspire you to the point where you're going to get about that place next. One thing about it, so you're not in the wrong place, you might just be in the wrong posture. You're not there for no reason. Go ahead and identify the lesson so that you can get blessed and move forward. We keep trying to keep ourselves attached to places that are keeping us stagnant, stuck, and delayed, when we are there to impact, when we are there to change, when we are there to apply the lesson, when we are there to become a different versions of ourselves, so that when we walk away, we will not return any place the same, nor will we be moving forward the same. So we won't bring old cycles and patterns and habits and mind states and relationships into the new place. Why are you bringing all this baggage? You don't even wear half these clothes. You keep saying you need to throw them away. And then the moment that you go to throw them away, you're like, oh, maybe I'll use it. You're not going to wear that shirt. Throw it out. Donate it or something. That's how you need to be looking at all this old baggage you're trying to hold on to. All this old number, these old contacts. Come on, these old connections. No. Why are you trying to bring them with you to the new place? Why are you trying to bring suppression with you to the place where God is calling you to express yourself and not be hidden at all? Why are you trying to bring depression to your promised land so you can lay in your new California king size bed, when you are supposed to be making it up and being thankful for it and buying new pillows for no reason, when they're going to be at on the floor at the end of the night? That's what you wanted. That's what you had on your vision board. Come on. I was declaring and decreeing a king size memory foam bed when I was sleeping on the floor in my sister's dorm room under her desk. I took all the fabrics that I bought when my dad, first of all, and shout out to my dad, because whenever he had it, he would send me everything I needed. He might not have been there for every birthday, every holiday and things of that nature, but when he got it to show up, he did. He sent me $300 one time. It was for my birthday, it was for Christmas and Thanksgiving. And he was like, yo, let me just make sure I get everything out the way, because I want to make sure she has what she needs. I was so happy. I said, wow. So I paid some bills I needed to pay. I was in college at that time. Like, that $300 was like $3,000, baby. Okay. I was like, whoa. I was happy. So I took it. I paid off debt that I needed to pay off. I had $99 left. I took it to a fabric store. I got all these fabrics. Girl, I was making pillows. Enemy crept up on me. I stopped making them. I got defeated. They became blankets, all types of things. Pillow I made was so big that I could sleep on it like a bed. So when I found myself having to sleep on my sister flow, I had me a whole bed. I had me fabric. You get what I'm saying? And I declared and decreed. I made a whole video. And if I have the video still, I'm going to put it in here because, listen, somebody need this. I declare and decreed. I said, listen, y'all, this is my California king size bed. I got it all made up. You know, it's a vibe. I'm about to go to bed for the night. I was underneath a desk on a floor with fabric piled up, saying it was a California king size bed with memory foam. Wherever you are right now, with whatever you have, be thankful for it and declare and decree what it will be, because it's going to be that. But you don't want it to become that, and you lose complete sight of what you declared and decreed, and that you're standing in an answered prayer because you brought depression, suppression, anxiety with you to the new place, because you brought chaos to the new place. Because you brought strife to the new place, to where you became blinded by your feelings and what you were experiencing. I was the first to I'm going to say was, because first of all, I'm not going to be the only one. I was the first one to graduate from college in my family. I did not even know this, y'all. I went through so much hell in that year to graduate. By the time I walked over the stage, and it's so crazy, because I said, oh, me walking over the stage is going to represent me closing doors, new beginnings. I forgot I even had said that. I was so bound by depression. I was so bound by confusion. I was so bound by irritation. I was so bound by heartbreak that I didn't even know that until months later, when me and my sister-in-law were sitting down, and she was like, yo, like, and then you're the first one to graduate from college in the family. Like, girl, I didn't even do it. And I was like, wait, what? She was like, yeah, you're the first one to graduate college. And in that moment, I was like, I was so bound and so blinded by the past. And I brought it in with me to the new, to the point where I didn't even recognize I was standing in an answered prayer. I was standing in victory. I was standing in a principality being broken off my bloodline. Did not even see it. Did not even recognize it. Didn't even celebrate it fully, because I was so bound by heartbreak and what I did not have, what I could not see, what I could have done better. Bound by regret, shame. Come on. Do not bring that with you to your new place, because you will completely lose sight of what you declared and decreed. You will lose sight that you're standing in an answered prayer. You will lose sight of it. And do you want months and months and months to go by before you can fully bask in the moment and express gratitude and joy for it and experience it fully? Or do you want to experience it and be thankful from day one? Not when it's time to move out. And it's like, dang, I didn't even enjoy this place fully because I was so bound by doors that should have been closed. I was so bound by feelings that should have been dealt with. I was so bound by suppression because I did not want to be wrong. I was tired of fighting about who I was. I was tired of explaining myself to people and trying to get people to see me and understand me. And it was reminding me of childhood. So I just grew tired and mighty quiet. Come on. Identify that trigger and address your feelings. Because any day now, you will be walking into your new. and walking away from what no longer serves you. And that does not mean don't wish it well. Wish it well and speak life over it so that y'all can see each other in the promised land. You're stepping into yours. They'll step into theirs. And then y'all can get one together. Buy a family house. Whatever it is you're believing for, or whoever it is that you wish it could have happened with, wish them well and speak life over them. Intercess on their behalf so that they can make it to their promised land too. But do not look back. Move forward. You are not in control of what they do. You're not in control of their timing. You are not in control. And the fact that you want everybody around you to win so bad is the very thing that's been holding you back, because you've been trying to control their outcome. You've been trying to control their timing. You've been trying to control it when it is not supposed to be in the... It's God's job. It's God's job. And if it happens overnight for everybody, everyone is going to bring chaos and strife into the promised land. And that is not what you desire. That is not what they desire. That is not going to be a solid foundation. Everybody gonna have money and be lit and have properties and enjoying life, all while going back home to depression and anxiety and principalities. It's not what you desire. Make your next step your best step, even if it's a small one. And do not compare your steps to everybody else's. Everyone's journey looks different, and there is nobody like you. So you will not see an example. You only see somebody that you can relate to, but they still are not you. So apply what it is that you have learned through your own experiences. Apply what it is that you're learning through other people's experiences. Apply the wisdom that you are coming across as you're studying. Apply the strategy that God is revealing to you. Only you know what that is. And if you don't have one yet, pray for it, and also go out and research. Because that's what it boils down to. What are you feeding your mind with? You're not going to be motivated to get up and act on that thing if you're watching reality TV all day. Especially if it revolves around what you are trying to heal from. You opening up your wound every single day more and more and more because you watching these romantic shows with all this drama, and you know you need to get in a place of healing. That's not going to help you. You need to be watching a podcast, and not just any podcast. Podcasts with credible women. Incredible men who live it, breathe it, and represent it. If you're starting a marketing business or you're somewhere in content creation, then you need to start watching marketing videos. That needs to be your TV. That needs to be your reality, because you want because you desire for your life to change, and you're in transition to step into your promised land. So you need, action-wise, you need to be in collaboration with the Most High, not working against him by just feeding yourself anything or just watching anything or mindlessly scrolling. Everything you do, everything you taste, everything you touch, everything you speak to and allow to speak into you needs to be an investment into your promised land. This does not mean you cannot enjoy life. This means sacrifice enjoying it on the level that you are on so that you can enjoy it on the level that you aspire to. You've explored your city enough. Okay, you've explored that. It's time for you to be out the country. That's where you see yourself at. It's time for you to be able to go to the spa and not complain about the price. It's time for you to go in the grocery store and be able to shop and not complain about the prices, but still be able to budget and be strategic and smart with your finances, not loose with it. It's time. Everything you are complaining about, there is a solution to that complaint. It is time to expand. It's time. You feel it. You speak about it. You envision it. You pray about it. You cry about it. Put forth the action and align with it in every area. If there's anything that's a contradiction, cut it out. Cut it off. Loose it. Rebuke it. Okay? Shut the door to it. Clean your house and replace it so that it can't come back. The Holy Spirit's now dwelling in your home. You play gospel every morning you get up to get dressed. You speak life over yourself every single morning. You're at the gym. You're not just sitting around. You have a vision board hanging up. Come on now. Clean your house and replace everything in that house that can work against you with something that's working for you, something that is serving you. Stop letting those books collect dust. Stop questioning investing into your business or investing into yourself, but you'll be quick to go out on an excursion that's going to cause you to be in debt by the time you come home. And not just financial debt, but physical debt, mental debt, spiritual debt, energetic debt, to where you tired the next day and now you can't even pour into your vision because you was out drinking and whatever all night. Your relaxation is about to look different. Your you time is about to look different. Your enjoyment is about to look different. So it is okay to sacrifice the you enjoying life on the level you're enjoying it at currently to enjoy it differently later. I know you're tired of having to check your card before you walk in the store. I know you're tired of getting anxiety every time you swipe it. I know you're tired of seeing it in the negative. And then every time you get a deposit, you go spend what's in that account and you get charged an extra $20 and it's back into the negative. I know you're tired of your checks getting deposited and a chunk of your check is taken because your account's in the negative. I know you're tired of that. God requires your collaboration, not your complaints and half truths and half efforts. And then you get a half blessing, a half answer, and you think that's enough when God has way more for you. But you have to be a wise steward. You have to budget correctly. And not just financially. It's not all about money, 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 money. How do you budget your time? How do you budget your energy? How are you a good steward over your relationships currently and the jobs and the vehicles and the houses and the things that you have now? It's time. And you are more than capable. More than capable. And everything that's calling you, everything that's pulling on you energetically, especially in the past, it's taking away from your collaboration with God for this vision that you want to come to pass. Because it's taking your mind, it's taking your energy, it's taking your time. Access needs to be denied and extremely limited if it's not beneficial to your vision. This does not mean be selfish. This does not mean you just telling people I'm not. No. If collaborating with them is beneficial to you as well as it's beneficial to them, cool. That's iron sharpening iron. If this collaboration is not beneficial to you, it's constantly draining you, and it has no benefit, that is not iron sharpening iron, baby. You're a do girl. Okay? If that's not on your spirit to do, if God has not deposited that in you to go see about, you need to say no. Because if you have to constantly question if it was worth it or not, I don't think it was. If you have to constantly choose between your vision and showing up for that and then it's not even worth it, I don't think that's where you should be investing at. If you have to constantly be in confusion and chaos about it, I don't think that's where you should be investing. I think that's what you should be accepting separation from for the time being, so that you can continue to invest and move forward. Because the more that you continue to allow your energy to be pulled, it's the more that you begin to feel like, am I backtracking? Am I in the right place? You need to keep investing. Got to bring you to places so that you can see how you operate. It's not just about you judging everybody else and seeing where they are and seeing what they need to do and feeling like you're supposed to just intercess and pray on their behalf and be there to save everybody. No, it's so that you can be revealed. I'm tripping. And actually, access denied. Actually, less accessible. Actually, wholeheartedly, humbly, and respectfully, I'll see you around. It's to expose you and your heart and your mind and your actions and the way that you're investing so that you can become a wise investor, so that you can become aligned with assets and not liabilities. That's what it's for. This journey of ebbs and flows and walking or driving or hitchhiking on the straight and narrow road is a journey about self-awareness. It's a journey about trust. It's a journey about patience. It's a journey about solitude. It is a journey about implementing action. and divine strategy. It's a journey of gaining insight and wisdom and applying it. It's a journey of being a student and a teacher, but making sure you're being a student first so that you're not walking in the room in the wrong position or the wrong posture and you miss the mark and the message. This journey is beautiful. As you shift your perspective on this road, you will see how beautiful it is and how capable you are of being on it. You don't have to get off or go on any back roads or hide in any alleyways. You're dominating. Every lane that you will ever be in, you will dominate. Take your time. Be strategic and clear before you cross over, and make sure you are paying attention, because sometimes things are so close that we can't even see. It might cause us friction if we cross over at the wrong point, because we're not paying attention clearly or being patient in our crossover. So take your time and be strategic in this season, in every season of your life. As always, I pray that you are leaving this video way better than you came. My prayer for you is that you continue to see God's hand all throughout your day, through the simplest of things, so that you can understand that he's never went anywhere. He's never not with you. He's in you. There's nothing that you can't get through. And he's always speaking to you. So do not let anything take you out of the present moment. Express gratitude even when you don't feel like there's anything to be thankful for. Find something. Even if it's as simple as, I'm thankful I can walk. Because you'll start to recognize there's much for you to be thankful about when you see somebody who can't. God will not forsake you. His word does not return to him in vain. So everything he has promised you, everything that you are believing for will come to pass. But do not align it or attach it to external things like people and places. If God said you're going to be married, then you will be married. Might not be with that person. Might not be in that place. If God said you're going to start a business, you're going to be a business owner, it might not be in the way that you think it's going to be. But that does not take from you being a business owner. That does not take away the promise of your marriage. That does not take away the promise of you being the first millionaire in your family. That does not take away from the promise of you being healed. That does not take away from the promise of you going to be a doctor or whatever it is. It does not take away from the promise. Get out the detail part and don't attach it to external things or your own expectation. Continue to declare and decree your promises over your life and know they will come to pass, despite what it appears to be circumstantially. So pray about the promise. Pray about the strategy to get to the promise. Continue to declare and decree and speak life over yourself when it pertains to the promise. But stay out of the details, because that is what trips us up and gets us caught in such an overwhelming place to where it's like, but it doesn't look like, but I don't know, but this person, but this, that, and the third. Listen, regardless of who, regardless of how, I'm married. I'm a wife. I am happy. My husband carries the fruit of the Spirit. He is a man of integrity, a mighty man of valor. I am blessed to be in his presence. And I make sure he knows how thankful I am every day he walks in the door and every day he walks out of it. Okay? I thank God for him in his face and outside of it. I'm married. All the rest don't matter. Just as long as the ring get on my finger and I walk down that aisle or walk on that sand or walk up the steps. Let's just go do it. We don't got to have no big ceremony. We know what it is. We can have a celebration after the fact and invite everybody else, but we know. Straight up. Okay. Listen, I'm a business owner. Might have had to go through hell and high water. And I thought I was going to be doing lashes. I thought I was going to be selling clothes. I thought I was going to be doing this now, writing books. I'm a business owner. The details don't matter. I've made my first 6 figures in my business. Declare and decree the promise over yourself regardless of all the extra noise. Okay? My name is Jasmine. It means a gift from God. On social media, I go by the infinite asset because I believe and I declare and decree over myself that anything I touch has longevity attached to it. Any person I'm connected to will receive longevity. Anything I invest into will become an asset if it's not an asset already. So that's what I live by, because God said I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. I'm far more precious than rubies. That means I'm a highly valuable thing. So if I'm highly valuable, I can spot value as well, and I know how to invest into it. So I go by the infinite asset on all social media platforms. And I'm happy that you made it here, and I'm happy to see you in the next episode. All of the details that you need to connect with me further, to invest into me in future projects as far as music goes, equipment goes for podcast episodes, different locations and things of that nature, or to invest into yourself as far as ebooks or courses go. I have a course out called How to Break the Cycle of Unequally Yoked Relationships, which will show you what transition looks like and how to get through each season that God will take you through. It'll also help you identify the reoccurring cycle in your life and how you continue to open the door to it so that you don't have to keep going through the same thing over and over and over and over and over. You can be set free today. Okay? You don't have to keep going that way. But the problem is, subconsciously, you have something programmed in your brain that you are not fully aware of. And if you are aware of it, you don't know how to set the proper boundaries without compromising on them to appease other people. So I'm going to take you through every single season of transition that God brings you through before you get to your answered prayer. I've been through many transitions in my life, had to shut many doors. Oh my gosh. Okay? Because you start to remember the pain. Like, oh, okay. Separation is one of the most difficult parts of transition because you have no clue what the future look like. You have an idea of it, but you don't know what it's going to come with. You don't know how you're going to operate in it. You don't know if you're ready. You get to question yourself. But because you are aware of how things operate with where you are currently, even if it don't serve you, you rather stay in that place because it's like, at least I know how to function here. A lot of our parents and people that we know, they have this saying that says, I'm just going to stick to the devil I know. Why would you want to stick to the devil at all when you can move forward and have a whole different life? But because of comfort, the comfortable position, you rather keep yourself bound because at least you know how to navigate it. So when God is calling you towards your answered prayer and he's placing you in the positions you need to be in to become new, to become ready and prepared for that answered prayer, you sometimes get stuck in that in-between place where it's like, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? I don't even know. Maybe I should just backpedal. So I will be taking you through every step of what is required to get to your answered prayer. And even when you get to breakthrough, there are 3 different seasons in breakthrough, because you would think I made it and then that dry season to come and be like, hold on, did I do something wrong? When God is preparing you. So there is so much value in that course. I highly suggest it, and not just because I created it, but because it also has helped me. I've taken the same course that I'm offering to you. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in or something that you need further insight about, all the details will be in the description box below, so do not hesitate to invest into yourself. As always, I'm so thankful that you have came, and I pray that you are not leaving the same. I'll see you next episode.